Hello, everyone. Good evening. Welcome to Vishwa Talks. My name is Srivani. Thank you all for attending today's evening. For those of you who have attended Vishwa Talks before, a very warm welcome to you. And for those of you who are joining us for the first time, here's a little bit about us. Vishwa Talks is an initiative by Vishwa. Vishwa is an online platform for everyday change makers and social champions. It's a crowdfunding and a crowdsourcing platform that is aimed at helping anyone find the support they need in their efforts to solve problems for themselves or others, and in the process to make our world a better place. Vishwa Talks is a series of webinars hosted every Saturday that are focused on gaining in-depth knowledge from the experts on a wide range of topics that are pertinent to the current context. Today, at a time when food habits are changing drastically, packed food, junk food, ordering food online has become the norm of the day for almost everyone. With our changing lifestyles, urbanizations, and a generation which has no connection to no belief in our age-old traditions and our old food habits, there's been a request by some of the audience for such a talk to bring in awareness. Keeping that in mind, we have invited a very respected personality in the field of millets, Mr. Sridhar Iriventi. Our speaker, Sridhar Iriventi, is an award-winning social entrepreneur. He's a business advisor for various initiatives on the future of foods. At a time a few decades ago, when millets had completely gone out of fashion and most of our villages were not growing millets, he had gone to village to village to village, identifying different kinds of millets that could be used by many people, especially in a day when diabetes is more and the health has been hit in a big way because of the changing food habits that we in India have come with more rice-eating people. He again made millets fashionable. He left a very thriving career to come back to our country and to contribute back to our country. He launched over 25 millet-based products among various others. He used to go to a village, identify one millet, and ensure that millet slowly the seeds are spread and more farmers grow it and it comes to the general public. His global hands-on experience includes the entire supply chain, from farming to running restaurants, have been in the forefront of the millet and has been in the forefront of the millet revolution over the past 9 years. His homegrown venture, GoBhaarati, has become a case study in business schools as he brings ancient foods back into the mainstream. Currently, he's exploring new pathways to expand in and impact US and other international markets. Before we get started, I'd like to mention that our speaker will be taking questions from you after his main talk. So please raise a hand or type your questions in the chat. Now, I invite our speaker to start today's Vishwa Talks.
Thank you so much, Vani, for giving that event and that introduction. It's so generous. In fact, is it about me? Sometimes I feel what has driven me to do all that also is surprise for me. So the problem that we were solving, I mean, like what we say is much bigger than what I am, and my qualification to do this is not that what I've done, but I was a patient and I was trying to do something. So today I've given an opportunity to talk to you and share what my experiences are. Before I go into this one, let me launch the presentation. Yeah, the context I want to set before is like, what inspired me to do this and how the whole stuff is. So when we are talking about millets, millets are still, though they are ancient foods, there are hardly about, 20% of the people have brought them into their daily menus or even, weekly menus. So let me discuss with you the context now. The first one is the Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam from Mahopanishad. You may be thinking we have come to listen about millets and how the organization how is grown over a period of time. But, food is about family. When my mother gave me, the pudina chutney with the rice, was considered to be like, tastiest thing. Even now, I consider to be it's the tastiest one. So actually, there was a few days back, a CEO, a very successful CEO in the US, it's a multinational and he's basically born Indian, came to my home. And when he came in, he traveled over 40 countries. So I was wondering what to give him. But when I didn't have anything to give because I just moved into this place. So I had a old, porridge made by finger millet, and I gave it to him with the kefir from Eastern European country. Finger millet means ragi, and kefir is an Eastern European drink. I mixed both of them and gave it as to him. And I was talking to him, and suddenly he was silent for some time. This guy is around 45 to 50, somewhere in mid 40s. So I was talking to him, but he was not responding, but he was tasting it out. Then after some time, he said, Sridhar, you reminded me of my childhood. My mother used to give it to me. We were having a middle class livelihood at that time, and the taste was exactly the same it was. Now, what it is, why I'm talking about is food. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam exactly means that the whole world itself is a family. And the family without a mother is not a family at all. And when the mother feeds it, she teaches, she infuses love into that food and give it to us. So why I'm telling you is, you go to China, the same things that we eliminate from our food, the mother includes into the food. Like, they may be having a cockroach or whatever it is. So it is the mother's love that comes into the food, and the family and the culture develops over a period of time that Srivani was talking about, the tradition. See, the mother, the love, the family, when we eat with them, the whole food becomes nourishment. So there is nothing about, there are no borders for the food. In India, when I was giving a session on millets, some of the farmers were very, very, very upset when I raised the value of quinoa. Quinoa is also another, it's a seed, but not a millet, but it's also a food which works like a medicine on human body, like buckwheat. And these are all things. Why I'm telling you this is the whole world is not having any political boundaries. The food doesn't have a political boundary. The whole world is one family, and the food nurtures along with the love that with which it has been fed. So that's the first point I wanted to make. So millets were actually about 9 varieties of millets popularly known, but there are 3,000 variants of that. And they are all over the world. You go to China, you will find millets. You go to Georgia and Europe, you will get. Even in the US, I'm finding lots of millets there. But thing is, they have been used for different purposes altogether. The kinds of food as like, they are fodder, sometimes bird food, and they got eliminated from the human food. So let's go for the next point that I'm trying to tell is the Atha Yoganusashanam by the Patanjali Yoga Sutra. This man is like, has created so many gurus all over the world. But this simple one is the first statement, the first aphorism out of 195 Patanjali Yoga Sutras. It means that right now, after doing all the trial and error, now let yoga be the self-discipline in my life. Now, I'm not talking about food yoga. It's a big word, but thing is, we will take some inspiration from this Atha Yoga Anusasanam. The more important part of it is coming is on the Yogas Chitta Vritti Nirodha, the second one. I'm not teaching you yoga. I'm not talking of Sanskrit. I'm talking about this Yogas Chitta Vritti means basically the Chitta Vritti is our mental spins that we go through circles, and we want that, we want this, we want that. Yoga is that which centers us. That's what that statement says. There are many interpretations, but that's the interpretation I took. So yoga is basically that centers us. So let's see what has been our chittavritti on the food space, how we have been dragged all over the place, and how we can get centered, and then see how we can make a great life with food as medicine. And that's where GoBhaarati started. I mean, like with a let food and lifestyle be your medicine. So I just wanted to say the etymology of GoBhaarati. Basically, Bharat. I mean, like we Indians are called Bharat, means the etymology is also called Saraswati. I mean, the goddess of knowledge. But thing is, Bha is the truth. Rati is a lover. So Bharati stands for the truth lovers. So whoever you are, wherever you are, if you are loving, if you are loving your truth, if you are seeking truth, then you become a Bharat. So India is a political region, but Bharat is a culture. Bharat is a way you look at the problem, the way you look at the way you pursue a solution towards a given a problem. So let's move on for the rest of the session, the crux of the session. And welcome to the session with this context. I'll be talking on various issues that brought millets again as one of the center stage for the human consumption. So what is a millet? Because why I'm suggesting this is, though millet has been very popular in the last 9 years, in fact, our Prime Minister Modi has mentioned after his grand success of launching yoga in 2015 in UN, about 170 plus countries have adopted yoga. So he says that yoga is a gift of India to the world, and millet can be the next gift. And I will show you the millet movement in India book at a later stage during the questions time. So millet is, what is a millet? Is I just want to give a brief on this. Millet is a collective noun for a set of small grasses. So you can see the range of it. Mostly uses for fodder and bird food till now, but gradually now it's moving into the human food. Because why? Because we'll discuss those as we move on. And popularly there are 9 varieties and thousands of them are available. They require a very low quantity of water, so they're very good for the farmer and also for the planet. Their seed to cash is around 100 days. That's all. So it's very good for the farmer, and also we can run 3 seasons in a year. So if we're talking about, that's what sometimes millets are referred as smart food, because they're good for you, the consumer, and good for the farmer, and good for the planet too. In fact, one of my friends, Joanna Potaka, has conceptualized the smart food movement, and she brought in a lot of work in the last 7-8 years. And how do they look like and grow like? Most of them, as they are all different grains. The sorghum, we call it as jowar in India, but it has got a lot of nutritional value in terms of weight management and stuff like that. And you've got those benefits mentioned here. I hope you will have the video available to you beyond this, so you don't have to note down. It's available to you. And you've got this pearl millet. Pearl millet is known for lots of iron in it. So that will help, those pregnant women who generally fall anemic and stuff like that. Those people can have pearl millet. And what all we can do with those pearl millets, we'll discuss. And you're talking about finger millet. We all want our children to be, our next generation to be strong, big, and solid. So the bones make a lot of difference, and the finger millet can be our friend in terms of making our next generation, if not in their formative stages. In the later stages also, people are suffering with osteoporosis and all. This will help you a lot, finger millet. And we have got this foxtail millet. Those people who are looking forward for muscle building and all, the protein content is very good in this one, and very good for the kidney, liver, and the immunity. Barnyard millet, I will discuss those things in a more actionable manner later, but just I'm introducing each of our friends. Each millet has got, these are all friends. If they are in your home, it is like having your Arogya Lakshmi. I mean, like, the whole, it's a suit of, health givers to you. And you've got the barnyard millet. It's good for children. It's good for the old age people also. It's easily digestible, a lot of fiber, a lot of iron, and a lot of immunity boosters there. The proso millet is called, anti-aging millet. So those people, those software guys who are talking about, backache and stuff like that, sitting for long, sedentary, they can have it. In fact, Swami Vivekananda, when he was in Almora, he used to have proso millet in the morning, and then that was this energy. a porridge of processed millet. It's all lost over a period of the last, after the independence, we neglected these grains. So they are all lost from our food chain. And the little millet is our beauty millet. Those people who want a healthy hair, healthy skin, a lot of, anything that's related to zinc and iron, our little millet can be of great help to us. So this Kodo millet has got, this is a very unique millet in itself. In fact, I got introduced to it when I was in a trip to Arunachalam. There, I found I had a dosa with a Kodo millet. I was wondering what that is, and when I researched out, it is having the only millet which has got 7 layers, and each layer has its own nutritional powerhouse. So this is the Kodo millet. Then you got the brown top millet, which is becoming very popular nowadays. That is the last one to get popularized in the recent past. So these are all the 9 millets I have got. There are other millets too. Like I have I've got introduced to a millet called Tess. It's an Ethiopian millet. It has got a similar advantages. It builds on the stamina and all, but right now it's not yet commercially produced in India or anywhere else. In Africa, it is being produced. Shortly, it will come into the rest of the world too. So people ask why millet. We are all having great food already. I mean, even in this country here in the US, I find wheat, rice, and maize taken over the whole food. Anything that is plant-based food will have somewhere or the other. 70 to 80% of the foods are either wheat or maize or rice. So there are other grains, and we have millets. Just quickly run through that. The grains are, they're high load on the environment in terms of the water requirements, and they're very specific. They're not hardy crops. They cannot grow in all in dry conditions. And we know that, the fertile land is going on. It's actually reducing over a period of time. So there are a lot of health deterrents. You know that nowadays many foods have got, a label saying that it is gluten-free, and gluten comes from the wheat or rye or barley. So and we know that the polished white rice has got its own impact on the diabetic world. So, but thing is, over a period of time, collectively we are all unconscious, and we brought all these grains into our food chains, and the retail outlets are supplied, and then over a period of time, they all became a part of our daily menu. They can be a part of our menu, but we have much bigger variety of nutritional advantages with other millets, other grains that I want to highlight on today. So millets is improving economics. It's not only in terms of the good for the farmer and the planet, but also for even the economy of the country. Also, it works out well because you can use the land far better, far more leverage the fertility of the land. Even a low fertile land can produce millets. And nowadays, the research from the Indian Institute of Millet Research, they have brought in so many research breakthroughs. And even ICRISAT has brought in so many research breakthroughs where the productivity from just 500 kgs per acre has increased to even 2 tons, 3 tons to now. So it's all in the offing, and all of us have got a role in transforming our lives, especially in these challenging times we are going through now. So millets are wide range, and you've got varieties of foods that you can make. You've got increasing access over a period of time, and your health and beauty all are covered in this one. So millets are I would say ancient, yet they are the modern food, because the kinds of challenges that we are facing in terms of health and also in terms of economy, in terms of the farmer challenges, millets seems to be a solution of the future food industry. So other advantages we've got is, accessible to you. Nowadays, millets are available to a lot of people. And like, in last just 8 years, we found a drastic change in their access and hundreds of tasty. In fact, if you ask me, there are so many millet recipes. In fact, recently, our Prime Minister launched this book. Can you see this? Millet Movement in India. Is it not? It's not, probably. I don't know. Is my camera capturing? It's a millet movement in India. I contributed about 5 pages into this book on how the millets movement and how people, each of us, can solve the millet problem, our food problem, and the food which was actually a food as a medicine has become a food as a slow poison. So how to transform this state of thing? So that is given in the book that is launched by our Prime Minister. Then also let us know some technicalities of it. I mean, people say all are same, millet, grains and pulses. Just simply looking at it, we have got rice, foxtail, millet. These are all they come like a rice, the paddy. They get couched by the mother nature and comes to us. Then these are all the millets, and some millets like pearl millet, jowar, and finger millet. So jowar technically is not a millet, but it is called a king millet. So it is falling into the same family. We have got these are all the naked grains which come from the nature as it is. We don't have to dehull it, but we do polish them. That's a different issue sometimes. Then you've got the pulses, dals, tur dals and stuff. So these are the typical grain stuff that we usually have in our homes, the plant-based foods. So what are common benefits of all millets? If you look at the history, if you look at even Google it or research out, there's an ancient secret for stamina. In fact, when I was in Vijayanagaram, those guys used to eat at that point of time, I didn't know what millet it was, but they were having little millet, and those guys were having just it's a bowl full of millet porridge, and they used to work throughout the day. And I was wondering what it is and all. And they used to, if the bull is not there, they used to pull the they can pull that what do you call that? Nagali in Telugu. They used to do that. So, and it's because of low glycemic index, it used to give them the energy throughout the day, and available nutrition was very high. So not only here, it is not just in India. I found that even in Europe, millets have been used. And even in China, you take up any countries which have shown a longer longevity, millets have been a part of their diet. And fortunately, India is the only country which has got all the 9 millets now. So see, India with all its cultural background, Ayurveda, the food medicine, naturopathy, is a hub of it's a leader in millet research now. So tummy friendly, high fiber, those people who want to hydrate colon very well. In fact, if you start eating millets, you will find extremely, you will start enjoying that. The kind of lightness that you will enjoy in the body there. And prebiotic that feeds the microflora. We are talking about a second brain, right? We are talking about this. We have got this millets. Actually, those people who are very, very, some of you are following this intermittent fasting nowadays. So those people who are following intermittent fasting break the fast with millet-based foods because it has got so many polyphenols in its ingredients, so that will help your gut to become healthier over a period of time. So your intermittent fasting is great, but follow it up with the right kind of food, it will become even greater, the benefits. So that we'll discuss as we move on. We have got no health deterrents. If you talk about wheat, we have got some degree of what you call that gluten intolerance, and rice, highly polished rice, immediate gush of sugar. We don't have any health deterrents. It is non-allergenic. Millets are non-allergenic, don't have gluten, no trans fat. So you can just have it. And only thing is, soak the millets for a few hours so that there are some anti-nutrients which gets eliminated, and then start cooking. It will be much faster, much easier to cook. Then you've got a lot of antioxidants too in this. And it's been found that they are even alkaline. So it's been found out in various researches across the globe that when your body has got alkaline foods, then the chances of growth of cancer are lessened. In fact, there are lots of people who profess drinking alkaline water because our blood alkalinity is around 7. I mean, pH scale is 7, and if you drink it more than 7, if the water is having a pH value more than 7, it is healthier. But when you're talking about millets, which are already giving you a very alkaline environment for your body when you consume millets, and magnesium and other minerals. Magnesium, as you know, We'll also know in future in our presentation how beneficial it is. Lots of benefits are there in this one, and how you can cook them. You can see this here. These are all things which we, as a part of GoBhaarati, menu, sometimes we created this kind of stuff. These are all made of millets. You can show the most common food that we all Indians eat and South Indians eat is that, you talk about idli. You can make idli with every millet, almost every millet. There I'm showing you ragi idli and also jawar idli. So these are made of that, and you can see here, this is made out of barnyard millet. Here we have got flakes, jawar flakes. Then you've got here these two porridges with the chocolate, ragi with the chocolate drink here. So here we have got a roti, which is, if you're talking of a North Indian would like to have, you can mix up a few of this roti with millet rice. And this is a little millet upma here. And there is a dosa here, there's kodo millet dosa here with chutney. So what I'm trying to tell you is there are so many foods. I mean, whatever you make in your traditional model, you just have to change the ingredient and the impact is directly felt by the body. So whether you are a housewife or a homemaker, or you are or running a restaurant, or whether you are a Anganwadi, whoever you are, if you can decide on the menu, if you can decide on the ingredients of the menu, you are contributing to the nation's overall health quotient. That's the important point I would like to make, because I mean, I heard that, the World Health Organization gave a report saying that 30% of the Indian rural money is being lost in healthcare. And a lot of women suffer through their, I mean, especially in the rural sector where the health facilities are not that good. The women during their pregnancy go through a lot of challenges because of lack of iron in their foods, lack of calcium, especially the lactating mothers. They lose a lot of calcium, and over a period of time, giving delivery to one baby itself is becoming a challenge. What kind of a generation are we going to build? So this is something that I'm really looking at as a great opportunity for each of us here to promote health foods, the simple ones. And ragi is hardly around 30 rupees a kg or 30-40 rupees a kg if you want to buy. So it is almost less than rice if you look in, almost comparable to rice. If you take up pearl millet is also much cheaper, and you can make a pearl millet upma, and then always combine pearl millet is a lot of iron in that. So combine it with C vitamin. Small things, small combinations of food combinations, it can make a lot of difference in the way our next generation is going to come. Even now, it's not just that, our next generation, our India has got around about 2/3, I think. 2/3 of the population is in the productive age, and 25% of our Indians are in the students. So let's not, if we continue to go in the same way, today we are boasting about our strength of population. Tomorrow we have to, cry for the sick people, sick people contribution to this to the world. So it's a small nudges. You can have the same quality of foods, same taste, same names. Only thing is, just change the ingredient. Every day, you can make 7 different dosas in 7 different days. You can make a little millet dosa, you can make a jowar dosa, you can make a ragi dosa, you can have anything you want. So if you look at these 9 millets, and with all the complexity or the beautiful varieties of foods that we have in India, you can make every meal, I mean 365 into 3, that is if you want to eat 3 times a day, if you talk about 1,000 meals in a year, if you're talking about 1,000 meals in a year, you can have without repetition 1,000 meals with just millets and combinations. So there is no dearth of choices, but you've got a plethora of nutritional advantages of these millets. So let's take them and then take it forward. So a lot of chat questions. Okay. I will answer those chat questions at the end of it. Lots of questions are coming in. Glad. So I'm going to ask you some questions myself before I take your questions. Okay. So some people ask me millets names in different languages. That is available on the net, so you can take it. It is very simple. Search for it. But thing is, since the people ask me so many times, I'm putting it in the presentation so that you people can always access as a quick one. So names are different, but love is the same. The mother's love is the same, and you know your cuisines wherever you are, whichever part of the world you are. Just go ahead and cook. Now, from now on, if you look at it, what could be the ingredients of your next meal with your loved ones? This is something which which over a period of time, observe, develop this life skill of, what are we eating? What is coming onto our dining table? What is the source? What is the supply chain? What all could have happened to the food to reach from the farm till your dining table? Observe those things, especially if you are a homemaker, if you are the one who decides the menu at the home, who makes the menu at the home. Be cautious, be conscious of what you are feeding your loved ones. And because you have the power, when you feed somebody with love, they get emotionally attached to it. We are all bag of emotions. A mother feeds a cockroach fry, and it has been with so much of love, that becomes the favorite food of the children of some countries. And if you take up, if a mother feeds their kids with, say chicken biryani, because chicken biryani, chicken biryani in the early childhood. Oh, I made a chicken biryani. You love it. That's it. It becomes the emotional attachment. Or you can make a ragi porridge. If any of your kids are going, any of your, are in the adolescent age when they're growing up and say that, oh, you're going for a cricket match or you're going for a badminton. So that's it. So, so whenever somebody is going for a badminton or any sports event, just give them a ragi drink or even a little millet. So give them that kind of a stamina foods. So just your love will add the taste, the emotional attachment. So be conscious of what you're giving your kids at an early stage. So, at the end of the day, if you all of you would like to have alcohol, the father, mother and all, that also is one tradition. Over a period of time, that becomes emotional attachment. Okay, if you want to celebrate, let's have alcohol. And that it's all a mental game. Or the whole family can sit together. Okay, we had a great day today and let's have golden milk. What is golden milk? Very simple portion milk where you boil the milk with turmeric, little bit of dalchini, that is cinnamon, and and little bit of a pinch of black pepper. So if you boil all of them, it becomes golden milk. It is a very good, very powerful Italian golden milk. So all the family at the end of the day, okay, let's drink that and sleep. That becomes an emotional attachment. If you all want to have a juice together that becomes an emotional attachment. It's a matter of that how homemakers, the mothers, and those people who are the loved ones, when you feed the right food, they will thank you. The kids will thank you as they grow up. They will thank you with their stamina. They'll thank you how they have protected themselves with their high immunity levels. Simple changes in the way you make your lifestyle changes makes a long-lasting differences. Especially we are talking about raising the immunity levels of the people right now. This virus is attacking everyone, but the people who are having higher immunity are getting protected. So how? Just if you have got right food and living habits, how you drink water, how you drink those basic stuff, the ones we are discussing, it will make all the difference. So hopefully these will be there. Now, I've got a small quiz for you. And actually, this has been made by one of my friends when I spoke to her it's my friend here, Harvey Singh and Archana. These are a great couple. And I talked about the value of buckwheat. It's an Eastern European grain. And when I discussed with them, they made this buckwheat biryani. I'm telling you, it's a tastiest thing one of the tastiest things I've ever had in my life. Very simple. We Indians have got such a fantastic cuisine. They are Punjabis, but thing is, they made this buckwheat biryani. It's one of the tastiest things I had got. So Now I'm asking, there's an image, but nothing related to this. But here we have got, which of the following grains contains gluten? And what is gluten? Gluten is it's a protein. It takes enormous amount of energy. Yes, if you are really physically very active, you can take a lot of gluten, that is wheat based. But thing is, I'm not saying I'm not against gluten, but there are lots of people who have got a gluten intolerance. So these are all available. Which one has got gluten? So those people in the chat can respond. Okay. So farro is a type of wheat. It contains the gluten protein, which is found in the grains called wheat, barley, and rye. So let's move on. So next, move on to the next question. Why are millets good for the farmer? Millets don't attract pests like other crops in general. So this has not been discussed, but thing is, millets don't need as much water as most of other crops. You can answer any of your choices here. Millets seeding to harvest time is much lower compared to other food crops. So you can put the choice in the chat or so yes, D. Yes, D. All of the above. Millets are good for you, good for the planet, and bad for the pests. I mean, bad in the sense they don't attract the pest at all. Compared to the pest attacks on rice or wheat or maize, this is considered to be less. That means our farmers are going to use less of pesticides. That means less into your homes, less of pesticides into your homes. And you know that pesticides are one of the major causes of cancer if you consume them into yourself. Another food for thought. Now, these are something very interesting. What smart food item do you prefer to include in your loved one's diet? If they have brittle bones or osteoporosis or problems with blood clotting or delaying normal growth, weakness and fatigue, or heart problems involving blood pressure and heart rhythms, or even if they're pregnant. Which one? Which food, when you go to the grocery this time and you have got this kind of issues at home, what would you buy in the grocery store? Wow. Come on, respond. It's all about your loved ones and the kind of food that you're going to bring in. So thank you, Ashok, Suchitra, Ragi, calcium. Very good, very good. Pearl millet, okay. Grace, Parul, Siddharth, fantastic. All of you have given a very good answers. You're bang right here. The answer is Ragi. Ragi, if you've seen Ragi, it is like our mustard. Okay, it's not. It is like a mustard seed, but it is it's like a calcium tablet. When you take a calcium supplement and when you consider calcium filled finger millet is more nutritionally available. The calcium from the calcium is more nutritionally available compared to the calcium from the tablets. And also, if you look at the calcium, it gets absorbed well if you've got D vitamin. So if at all you are in India, don't hesitate to expose yourself to sun, especially the early sun or the late, early sunrise sun or during the sunset. The D vitamin is a very powerful factor in absorbing the calcium into the system. So take care of that. So the next question is, the food for thought is, okay. So it's coming there. Now I've given you the hint. Already barnyard millet has come. What smart food item do you prefer to include in your loved one's diet if they have fatigue, headaches, disrupted sleep, insomnia, reduce libido, reduce energy levels, dizziness, even if they're pregnant. Which one is the best? So barnyard millet works out very well. What else? So you have the answer. That is there, the pearl millet. Pearl millet is I'm telling you, just make a rava out of it and make a no simple upma, or if you can have even a porridge out of it. But ensure that you eat something that is having a lot of C vitamin. Have an orange. Have an orange before that. Have a raw food before the cooked food. So have an orange or have anything that has got pomegranate, any food that has got a lot of C vitamin in combination with iron rich foods like this, it will get absorbed into your body far easier. So the next one food for thought is which millet can help in dealing with zinc deficiency. You know how the zinc deficiency reflects in your body? If they exhibit poorer neurological function, especially when you are a driver, I mean you drive a lot, your neurological function plays a very important role. So you will be more prone to accidents if you are having lesser zinc. If you are losing your hair, if you're losing your skin quality, and or even weaker immunity, diarrhea, food allergies. If suppose somebody is suffering from diarrhea, what would you do? Sabudana is one definite remedy for all of us. But in addition to sabudana, you can even have the which millet that can help you to solve the problem. That's we are talking about the little millet. So I'm just giving you a few thoughts. I'm sure depending on the kind of challenges your family faces or the loved ones looking at somebody, a challenge means you want to have the health targets also, not just handling the diseases. So depending on that, you do your research. You do your research. That's the way. I'm not a nutritionist. I am not a doctor. I was just a patient when I started GoBhaarati. I worked on my body, cured myself, some of the deadly diseases that I had at that time. And over a period of time, the food has solved my problems, health problems. So I'm sitting in front of you and talking because I researched out. It's a very simple thing, minor changes. I brought those minor changes in the food habits of my kids. So it made a difference. To make a transformational impact on our whole family, these foods make a tremendous value addition at a low cost. So go to the next one. Now, this is something which we have been neglecting actually, but we should know this because we don't get it through rice or wheat or even maize. Tell me which mineral in our millets can help this. Regulates energy levels by activating ATP. ATP is about, the mitochondria in our cells is considered to be the powerhouse of, we all study in our 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th biology. The mitochondria is a powerhouse in our bodies, in each of the cell and all. So which mineral helps? You can take a tablet, you can take a tablet that is available as a health supplement. But when the nature is creating something naturally available to you, why you want to go for those supplements? These are all done by one mineral. What is it? That's the magnesium. So almost every millet has got magnesium in different proportions. So don't miss the opportunity to have millets regularly so that you get your magnesium doses without buying tablets. That's what we're talking about. Let food be your medicine. Let lifestyle be your medicine. How the combinations of foods that you're making it. So these are all the inputs that I've got from, I have been a part of Indian Institute of Millet Research Incubation, and that's called a Nutri Hub. Then I've learned it from the smartfood.org of ICRISAT and being led by Joanna Pataka. Then we have got, these are all the research inputs that we got. One of the major researches have been done on the nutritional impact of millets on the human body. So these are all the research papers that are available for you guys to have a look at it and then see how we can do it. It's not just these. There are so many good things that are happening across the globe, and especially in India. India is the hub of millets research. It's leading the whole millet movement in the world. So let's just go ahead, do a little bit of research. It makes a tremendous impact. And each one, whether you are a teacher, whether you are a sports person, whether you are a student or a homemaker, or you are a government officer or a private employee or retired, or just in a school kid, it doesn't matter what your stage of life is or the social status. You can make definitely an impact on yourself and on your loved ones in the way you manage their diet, in the contribution that you make into their diets. This entire session that I've been trying to give is basically a primer. I would say there are lots of work. There are those people who wants to know more will have lots of research. Nowadays, you've got Google, and also if you want, we can reach out and in the question and answer session, I can give you more inputs on the quality of the foods and the research inputs that are available and the various cuisines that you can bring into your home and how you can transform your kitchen into a preventive pharma. What I mean by preventive pharma is actually our kitchen has been traditionally a preventive pharma. You all may be knowing if you've got a sore throat, you will go for gargling, or you will have a ginger and turmeric tea. These are all the preventive pharmas that over a period of time got lost with the convenient tablets, convenient pharmacy outside in the shops. So now let's give the kitchen the power to empower our health and make a transformation in such a way that we don't have any side effects. We just make the food as medicine and let the lifestyle be the medicine. And in combination with your practices like yoga or whatever be the yoga or a gym, whatever you do, make a little change in the diet, make a little change in the way the lifestyle, and it will have a tremendous impact in your overall productivity. In fact, this magnesium also improves these millets also improve your concentration levels. In fact, because most of us nowadays are into, more intellectual jobs than their physical job, physically challenging jobs. So these kind of millets give you that kind of a concentration levels, improve your concentration levels and improve your performance. So why I'm telling all of them, it's all towards that second brain that we have been neglecting over a period of time. So some people who have started, fasting, intermittent fasting and all, have these kinds of foods as a combination to your practices so that you have a transformational impact on yourself and also your loved ones. And with that, I've got stuff here. So I end the presentation here. So got any questions or anything? I hope I'm not overshot the time.
Sridhar, you've given us a wonderful session.
Thank you so much. You have given me an opportunity to talk.
Yeah. So I'd like to mention that our speaker will be taking questions from you after his main talk. So please raise your hands and type your questions in the chat. I would like to request you to take a 30-second poll. The purpose of this poll is to serve each of you better so that we can better curate the topics that we bring to you. While you take this survey, I would like to say a little bit about Vishwa Talks. Vishwa Talks is a space to expand the horizons of our mind. Every webinar, we call experts from different domains to discuss, examine opinions, issues, problems, and perspectives. Each webinar is an interactive session where we all walk away with more respect for each other and a deeper understanding about the topic at hand. Thank you so much, Sridhar. What I really loved about the way you did is, not only did you give us a glimpse of the world of millets, how it can make a difference, the nutrition value, and how it has been forgotten in the food chain of our country, and how it's good for the pregnant women, for children, and people with different ailments. In fact, I know that I have used your millets for my husband once.
Thank you.
He had diabetes, and for the last 5 years,
he's having your food. So yeah, and
Thank
I
you so
would
much.
yeah, and to each of you, the participants, I would also like to thank you. Wonderful participation. Your interaction was really good. I would also like to thank the Vishwa team, especially this time. Some of them were with COVID, yet they were all there to make this event very seamless for you. Thank you, Prerna. Thank you, Srija. Thank you, Akhilesh. Thank you, Lakshmi. Thank you, Trishita. Thank you, Jahnavi. Each of you were wonderful. We didn't feel anything amiss in spite of the different breakdowns you all have. I would also like to thank Biological Events. In fact, there is a little event today. They have funded our first fundraiser with Roshni Trust, and it's now complete. Thank you so much. We would like to, can I go into talking about the other things? Is the poll still continuing? Yeah. So I would like to talk a little bit of about the fundraisers that are happening at Vishwa Talks. Yeah, so we have Parampara. In these COVID times, most of the artists have gone through a very, very tough time. We need to support them. Our culture, our country is what it is. It's because of the culture we have. We're very different from the whole world. And it is these artists who made a difference, who added value and color to our lives. So Parampara is coming up with a small competition to show our respect, to keep the enthusiasm, to keep the spirits up. And we would like either you or people that you know in your life who can sponsor these gifts. Please do that for Parampara Foundation. Then there is Balavikas, which is an institution at Kukatpalli, where disabled students have been given speech therapy by various teachers, and it is institutions like these which need to be supported. Can you all add the video, please, if it's possible? Please have a look at this little school in Kukatpalli where people are paying out of their own pockets to teach hundreds of students, tens and hundreds of students. So that is one thing. Another fundraiser that is being moved right now is a young boy called Raghuram. He's a gifted student. In these COVID times, he's lost his father. It could be any of our child, any of our participants. We could have lost our child in the COVID, our parents in our COVID times. And this boy had his mother who was hospitalized, and he had to take care of her medical expenses, which ran into lakhs. And now he needs to support his own education. So then there is another little school called Totapalli Zilla Parishad High School. It is in a small village where Praneeth Reddy, a software engineer, is running this campaign where he would like to build toilets for the girls. And I think if each of us could, at least contribute to a little brick out there, it would be great. With this, I would like to thank everybody who's here, and we can continue with our question and answer session. Can millet cure cancer?
See, I'm not a doctor to give this one. That's a disclaimer that I would like to put in. But thing is, the ingredients and the overall impact because of its antioxidant activity, millets are a likely candidate in your food, in your menu, when compared to the rice or wheat. That I can say. I don't know, being in the public space, I don't know whether I can make a bombastic claim that, millets will cure the cancer. But I think that you can try. That can be one of the best approaches. Talk to your nutritionist and the doctor, and I'm sure they will give you a positive answer.
Any type of millets is okay to consume?
Try it out. That's what I was talking about. Our human body is it's very complex and intelligent. So we have got 9 millets, try all of them, keep an observation on the body, and eat your normal foods like idli, dosa, vada, all sorts of things can be made with millets. So try all of them, and how you feel, then it is not like you just have one rice or one wheat. Now you've got about 9 different more grains, and also try buckwheat too. And I told you that, in my session, the creator, whoever it is, whichever religion he is from, but the God has created these grains before we made our partitions, the borders and language and caste, creed, and all sorts of nonsense that we created over a period of time. God has created these grains much before that. So don't have any food politics. Go ahead and apply those, whatever food that is available, whatever nutrition that is available into your tradition, whatever your mother taught you, whatever your traditions taught you, make the foods. So my answer for you is have all the millets, try all of them, enjoy and test it out. It's enough fun, it's an exploration about your body. Do that.
The water in which the millets are soaked, should that be thrown away?
Yes. See, basically the anti-nutrients get, get absorbed in the water. Just throw it off and then cook it. It will become much faster. You can cook soaked millet much faster too.
All millets have anti-nutrients. Millets have about the same level as other grains. Many cooking and processing methods also help reduce the anti-nutrients. Example, sprouting, fermentation. So which state produces the most millets? I would like to purchase in bulk.
Oh, see, Karnataka and Telangana are the leaders. But thing is, if you ask me, Rajasthan is leader for our bajra. Bajra means pearl millet. So not all millets are not produced in one state. Like proso millet was very difficult in the recent past for us to procure and then sell. So proso millet, actually, when I was doing my own travels, Kadiri, the Anantapur area, especially was producing proso millet. They used to call Bangaru Bariga. They used to call Bariga there, and in Bariga is proso millet. So do some research. You got your India Marts, you got your net, find it out. But the leaders in millet production are Karnataka and Telangana. Rajasthan is for the pearl millet.
Would you like to share a book or website references further?
Oh, we have got so many great books. In fact, I don't know why it's not being, can you people see this? Can you read it?
We are not able to. We're not able to.
I don't know what's wrong with this camera. It's not read. It's a millet movement in India, launched by, by Modi. From Prime Minister Modi said that, let's go ahead and launch millets as the next contribution to the world as yoga. So on Amazon, you've got these books available. And on Indian Institute of Millet Research, you can download PDF copies of all the millets and recipes. ICRIS at smartfood.org has got so many recipes there. So you can just try this once. You'll find those on the websites.
Usually it's suggested not to eat a fruit before eating a usual Indian lunch. Could you please shed some light on this, please?
I don't know who has suggested that, because over a period of time, when I was, still I'm part of it, like in Art of Living, we actually recommend like having a raw food first, then you have the cooked food. So that, the basic logic is being the raw food gets absorbed directly, whereas the cooked food will take its own sweet time. So let's let the raw food go first. That's why we eat salads first.
What millet should I choose to give 2 to 4 years children, and in what form?
Oh, lovely. Have your 2 to 4 means, just apply the logic, simple logic. This is the way you think. I mean, I'll just give you, instead of giving you a direct answer, I'll give you a logic of how to. 2 to 4 is the time of formation. Their body is getting formed, their limbs are getting formed, they're getting to the society. So what would you do? So what I would suggest is go ahead, increase that, their skeletal ragi. Their blood circulation system has to be improved. Pearl millet. Their hair quality, their overall immunity has to be boosted. Then go ahead with little millet. Suppose they're in adolescence, go for kodo millet. So that's like that, these are all millets that are available with great nutritional value for you to support. So if you're 2 to 3 year, barnyard is a very good, having a lot of fiber and iron. So go ahead with barnyard porridge. So don't stop. Sorry, here we have got a heater here. It is sub-zero temperature. So the heater soaks away the throat.
Multi-millets flour is far more costlier than wheat flour. What do you have to say on that?
Costly in terms of what? In terms of the price or in terms of the value that you get? So see, preferably go with one millet or a couple of millets instead of going with multi-millet flours. So, sorry.
Sorry, continue, please.
You asked a question. I think I misread the question.
I have been cooking and eating millets for 5 years now, but I don't soak them before cooking. Is that okay?
See, now that you've been doing that, start soaking and try and see how you will. See, it's all about from darkness to light. Keep doing it. Keep doing it. Let's try this. How your body responds, how your cooking responds, how that is. Because for 5 years you've got millets in your non-soaked millets. Try the soaking millets because this seems to be an expert's advice, not mine. Over a period of time, people are saying that soak and then throw the water and do it. So try it out. How you will feel the taste, how quickly you can cook, or after eating, how are you feeling? Do that.
How do we address the requirement of adequate protein intake with millets?
You have got protein, means you've got your foxtail millets, and in fact, though it is not, I'm not here to propose millets, but thing is, even quinoa is very good nowadays. It is much cheaper. Go for quinoa. Have buckwheat. Have foxtail millet. Then even brown top millet has got a very good protein. So go ahead with that one. It is 4 times the protein of your rice.
Is makana made from millets?
Pardon?
Is makana made from millets?
No, I don't think so.
So I think we are almost done with our questions. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you to each of our participants and thank you to Vishwa.